Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Tier 7 Czech Premium Heavy Tank, the Lioness Skoda T45. Now if you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the Lioness Skoda T45. This is the level 25 reward for the current season pass. And what's it like as a heavy tank? Well, it's okay. It's not anything really that special. It does get two options for guns, which is a single shot and an autoloader. I personally just use the autoloader because I feel like it gives this tank something unique and makes it somewhat okay to use, because you've got that nice bit of burst fire. This autoloader is a 3-round autoloader. It has a 2.5 second intra-clip reload, which means it does put out damage decently quickly. It's not the fastest intra-clip reload for an autoloader in the universe, which means, you know, you're not sitting there going bang, bang, bang. You know, you are more like bang, bang, and bang, as you've just seen the perfect example of the autoloader in action. But it does reload the clip pretty quickly, which is 15.49 seconds with the build that I have for this vehicle. And as you can see, if you boost with food, it knocks it down to about 14.4 second reload, which is really quite nice. This gun has 194 penetration on its standard AP, with 250 heat pen, which is... The penetration on this tank is fine. Like, you will deal with everything you're going to face in this vehicle with that penetration. Your standard rounds will be enough for most tier 7s and a lot of tier 8s as well. And if you can't pen anything that's at tier 7 or tier 8 with the 194, you can just load the heat shells, which will go through with that 250 pen. The downside is that the standard round has 995 meters a second shell velocity, which is pretty decent for an AP round, but the premium round has a 600 meters a second shell velocity on the heat, which is exceptionally slow. So if you are firing at distance and using the heat rounds, oh boy, it just feels so slow to get the shells down range, and you might suffer in that regard if you are firing down range with the heat rounds. And if you are firing heat, make sure you are giving an absolute butt ton of lead to make sure that, you know, you're going to be able to hit the shots. You've got 7 degrees of gun depression with the Lioness, which again is fairly average, if we're honest. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just usable, which means you can be pretty decent on a ridgeline, but at the same time, a lot of ridgelines will also be a struggle for you. It's picking where you are going to position yourself to be able to get the damage out. The accuracy I've got with this build is down to 0.32, which is not too bad. The accuracy during rotation is 0.95, and the accuracy during movement is 1.74, which means the gun doesn't bloom out that badly, realistically, for a tank like this. And that is without the vertical stabilizer as well, because the gun stabilizer is something that the Tier 7 heavy tank can't get. So you cannot help those two stats out without steady aim or run and gun for this type of tank, which is what you are naturally going to run for the vehicle, so that you can at least get the gun handling down to a certain point. And with the build that we've got it down to a 2.15 second aim time as well, which is not horrific. It's just not horrific, but at the same time, it's also not great, which means you have to sit there making sure you are going to aim the shot to be able to hit it, like you've just seen me do there. I had to sit and wait. I was like, I can't shoot at any other point, otherwise I'd just be chancing the gun saying, nah, no, I don't feel like hitting that shot, mate. And then I cry because I missed, and then I die, because the one thing that this tank doesn't really have is armor. It has decent armor on the turret front, and by that I mean it's got angles, which if you are using the 7 degrees of gun depression, you might actually bounce stuff off of the front of the turret front, because it is 160mm thick. But try not to rely on the armor of the Lioness. It really, really does struggle in that regard. You've got a big cupola on top, which is easy to hit. And yeah, don't go brawling with this thing thinking, yes, I'm going to bounce everything, because you really, really won't, and you'll be severely disappointed. So what do I run in terms of accrue and equipment on the Lioness? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Track Mechanic, Clutch Braking, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun. And in terms of equipment, the Vents, the Gun Laying Drive, and Optics. Optics to be able to spot for myself and get myself up to the 484 meters of view range I have with the build. The gun laying drive to get the aim time down to that 2.15 seconds, so that I can actually try and get this gun aimed in quickly to get the shots down range. And Vents to make everything about the tank better in general, like the reload, like the aim time, like the accuracy. Just everything about this tank gets better with Vents, and that's what I really want to help out with it. And then all 3 gun perks, because naturally I want to be able to make sure this gun will be able to hit the shots, and it keeps the gun bloom down, makes the accuracy better with those 3 perks. And then clutch braking, because the track traverse of this vehicle is also pretty slow at 25 degrees a second base. So I've pushed it up to 27.34 degrees a second with clutch braking to at least make it feel like it traverses a little bit quicker, because it is a very slow traversing tank. You do have a 35 km/h top speed with a 14.05 horsepower per ton ratio, by the way, which means that you do hit the 35 km/h top speed. And if you were to put the traction system on, you will not, you'll make the whole traverse better, and you'll make it up towards about the 30 degrees a second mark with the traction system, and you'll also get up to 38 km/h top speed. So the traction system is also a benefit that you could change vents out for if you wanted to. It's always down to you and how you feel comfortable playing a vehicle and how you feel like you're going to do the best with it, really. So as you can see in this first replay, we're up to 2,900 damage with 3,344 assistance. We've had a pretty damn nice game. 6k combined in a tier 7 and a tier 8 game. We will take that. There's only 1 tank left on the enemy team. It is artillery. And we're on 19 hit points and a dream, which is bacon. We want the bacon, which we know where they're probably going to be. And that is up on the hill over here where they've spawned at a 9-0. So we're just going to try and make our way there. And this is where you can see the Lioness is a little bit slow. It's very indicative of what the VZ44-1 is like, as well as the Tier 7 heavy tank. Because the Tier 7 Tech Tree heavy tank is very much like the Lioness with the hull and the armour. But you've got a slightly harder hitting gun and no autoloader, and you're also slower in the Tech Tree one, because the Tech Tree one goes at about 30 km/h, and it does feel very slow. This thing still feels fairly slow at 30, even at 35 km/h, but 35 km/h is what I would call bang average mobility for a heavy tank, so it's not too horrific. But if you do feel like the tank is just a bit slow to get going, you could, like I say, always run the traction system or the powertrain just to make yourself go that little bit quicker. So as you can see, we didn't get anywhere near the GW Panther. We sadly did not get our bacon because the Stereobill managed to shut them down. But we do finish with the victory. 2 kills, 2,909 damage, the 3.3k assistance, the ace tanker with that 2,064 base XP. A pretty damn nice game in a tier 8 game for the Lioness. And we just basically took that position early on, spotted out the enemy team. Every time they kept pushing out to try and get shots at us, they just kept feeding themselves to our team, and we got some lovely juicy assistance. But now we're on to the second replay, and this game is on Arctic region. We're top tier, which is glorious. It's quite nice to be top tier in the Lioness, because that means that we will be able to use the autoloader to nice effect. It feels like it's fairly effective at this point, because we've only got 220 alpha, right? And when you're facing against tier 8s and 9s, and especially against tier 9s, right, you start to it feels like it's not doing that much. Even though we're doing 660 damage in a burst, right? It just feels a little bit more insignificant, especially when they're hitting you for 300 to 400 more consistently than you're hitting them for 220. And also, the gun on this tank does just feel a little bit derpy, which is why I run the autoloader, because the other gun still feels just as derpy as this one does, and I felt like, you know what, if it's going to derp, I may as well just have a burst effect, and then I can play it a little bit more conservatively that way as well. And that's why I like the autoloader, is because I don't feel like I have to expose myself for that long to do out the damage with the autoloader like I do with the single shot. The single shot means I have to expose myself to the enemy team more often, which means that I'm taking more hits. Whereas this autoloader, I might take a hit, but then I've dished out 660 and I can get myself safe. And especially in situations like this on Arctic region, where we go to C2, we can get ourselves hull down, and we can drop the clip where we take a hit. Like against this T29 there, he just tracked us only. We could have been able to, if he'd stayed up on top of the ridge, we'd have taken no damage and then managed to do 660. Whereas, obviously, if we were firing the single shot, we would have had better DPM for sure, but we'd have had to basically sit here for longer to dish out that same amount of damage. Now there, you just saw the gun. Now, we got lucky that the T29 didn't pen us, but you just saw the gun in a nutshell. This gun, and this game, to be honest, is very much the epitome of this gun, which is why I liked it. Well, didn't like it, really, to be honest. But it's why I liked it for showing you guys. Because this game is the epitome of this gun. And that is, I can only pen 2 out of 3. I'm only allowed to hit 2 out of... Okay, we're not even allowed to hit 2 out of 3 in that clip there. That's what the gun does. It's deeply frustrating at times. And it is one of those autoloaders that feels like you're never truly allowed to hit all 3. And that is a little bit frustrating. So we're pushing the corner here in Arctic region. Something shot from over there. So it's like, okay, you know what? We're going to pop blind fires at the bushes where the camping TDs like to sit. Because that way we might get a blind fire. We might panic them. We might be able to make them make a mistake. But we didn't hit anything. And it's like, there was definitely something over here. So where are they sat? Which bush is it? Sadly, yet again, we fire another clip and it doesn't come off. It doesn't hit anything. I mean, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You could say that was just a waste of shells, but at the same time, if we'd hit 1 or 2 of those, it might have made the tank that was there re-evaluate its position and move away and give us a clearer attack down the 2 line. Or we could have just got some free damage, well, without taking any, you know? We'll take that. But there we go. It was a Tiger 1! How did we never hit that? Alright then. Alright then, Mr. Tiger 1. We managed to get all 3 shells in there, which is glorious. Thank you, gun gods, for letting me hit all 3 shells! It makes me a little bit happy, alright? Because this tank, again, it does love to just not hit all 3 shells. It's very frustrating. We're up to 1,523 damage with the 571 assistance. And so we're going to push up a little bit more, because I want to try and get towards their base, but also push into a better position to get shots at this Tiger 1. And maybe I can spot this Tiger 1 again, who has vanished. And I was thinking, surely I should be spotting this Tiger 1 right now, right? We get spotted and... No, we're getting out-spotted. We have 484 meters of view range, and I thought, I should be seeing this guy. We put the shot down range towards the artillery, get our bacon, we'll take it. And yeah, the Tiger 1 was actually out-spotting us. And yeah, I don't really know how that guy was doing that. Bushes, the mystical magical bushes were keeping the Tiger 1 German tier 7 heavy tank hidden. Meanwhile, me and my Czech heavy tanks, probably because I was moving and he was sitting still, to be fair, is... Yeah, he just sat there and went, hello, friend, I see you. But now we're not spotted. We managed to farm that guy without ever getting spotted. To be fair, what could have happened there with the Tiger 1 is that the shots that I put through his cupola killed his commander, which means he would have had 0 view range because his commander's dead, his view range gets cut in half, and that was probably what actually happened there. It felt weird at the time, but it's probably just the fact that his commander died, right? So we've got up behind the T23 E3 and the G1R. It's like, hello, Mr. G1R. Oh, gun, really? We put a second shot in that breaks the engine of the G1R, and the 3rd shell goes in. 2 out of 3 yet again, and it's like, oh boy, I need to get out of dodge. Right, we need to get out of this situation because they're currently looking at it as it's not good. The T23 E3 is in an awkward position for us because he's behind rocks, which means we can't get after him. They're in our base. We've got to go back to base. We know there's no artillery to deal with us. It's 8-4 at this current moment in time, which means we are losing very heavily. So let's go back to where we know a lot of their team is and get to a position where hopefully we can stop them capping out if they decide to go sit in our cap. Also, we can try and help out our teammate in the middle because they are pinned down by the T23 E3 and something else that's sat at G6. So we are going to change up the position, see if we can get any shots at them as well. There's the KV-1, who is very safe from us, so we can't quite get a shot at them. The T20 E3, well, English is hard, bro. Yeah, the 23 E3 is sitting in a position that maybe if he pokes out, he will give us a shot. There we go. He pokes out. We put the shot down range. Good night, Mr. T23 E3. And we secure our 4th kill of this game. 6-4. We're bringing it back ever so slowly, but surely it's coming back. We knew there was a TD or something like that at C8. So we've got to proceed a little bit cautiously here, because if they decide to attack us, it could be quite awkward. 2 tanks get into the cap. And that justifies my decision here to actually come back, because we have to get back there to reset. I do have the time, though. I know that it's going to take me no time at all to get up this hill. They've got 27 seconds left, so I'm fully confident in my ability to reload the whole clip. And this is the nice thing about the Lioness, is the fact that it does reload pretty quickly. But just as I'm reloading, that M56 gets spotted up there. And he's still there. I should have taken the blind fire, but I just thought I had to get back. That guy getting spotted at that moment in time right there is so awkward for timing, because that means I'm probably going to bleed hit points as I go back to defend the base. And unfortunately, our 2 other heavy tanks have died. So we get here. Hello, Mr. Brumbayer. Get 1 shot in. 2 shots. I didn't really want to take the hit from the Brumbayer. He misses. And we start taking hits from behind, which is actually shots from the KV-1 with the 57mm, and the M56 Scorpion actually gets a shot at us as well, which is just so sad. That timing was so impeccably bad for the reload and the M56 Scorpion to get spotted, because if we'd just not taken a blind fire at the KV-1, we would have been loaded and ready to just snap into the M56 Scorpion and get rid of him. Which is, it's just, yeah, the timing was off. So off. But something enters the cap. We are now a 1-shot for the M56 Scorpion. The Su-85 here gets completely caught out, and we finish him off for our Top Gun. So yeah, we're now a 1-shot for the M56 Scorpion. The Setter, we are a 2-shot. The British Bulldog, we're a 2-shot. And we are reloading. The British Bulldog tried to get a cheeky shot in as he crossed over, firing premium, but he failed. I just think, okay, you know what? I've got to get rid of this British Bulldog. We get kind of lucky there that the Bulldog didn't actually get a shot into us. We put the shot down range towards the Setter, but it misses. Would have been nice to get that shot in. We're on 7 kills right as we speak. And we're in an awkward situation where we're against 2 tanks that are both fairly stealthy, fairly mobile. More mobile than I am, and more stealthy than I am, which means they are always going to outspot us. And realistically, they could kill us quite easily. We could kill one of those 2 tanks one-on-one very easily ourselves, though, because we have the clip. So I just have to take advantage of the fact that I have a great little hidey hole. And that is this position here at C8. I just got to wait. That's what this game is now all about. So what we're going to do is poke up, back up here where the the dead Rampanzer is. Oh, actually, it's a Panzer 3-4 by the look of it. Yeah, we're just going to pop a blind shot towards where the M56 Scorpion was. See if we get spotted. Because if we actually got spotted there, taking that shot towards the M56... the likelihood is he was probably still up there. And the fact that we didn't get spotted taking that shot makes me think, okay, they're probably moving towards us now. So we're just going to wait. They know where I am. We're just going to wait for them to actually have to bottleneck themselves coming after us. And again, we know that we can't kill both of them in one clip. Because one of them is on like 460 hit points, the other one was on 267. And we've only got a 660 clip. So we can't kill them both in one clip. But with the amount of dead wrecks and stuff, maybe we can manipulate it to get a lucky bounce, get the shots off, all that sort of stuff. So we're just waiting. And this is all we can do. This is what we can do as a heavy tank against these 2 fairly agile, fairly stealthy tanks. It's just sit and wait. It's the only play. We get detected. It's like, hello, Mr. Setter. Try and pop a snapshot there. That was just silly, realistically. It was never going to hit. But we have the time to reload, or at least I feel like I've got the time to reload, because I'm scared that the M56 Scorpion is going to appear on my left. But the M56 Scorpion takes a blind fire at us, and it's like, hello, sir. You're not on my left, you're on my right. Okay, that's interesting. That's information that I needed. We get spotted and detected again. That's the M56 Scorpion poking up, and that's why I've stayed here. Because he can just outspot us like that. There is nothing we can do against the M56 Scorpion in that regard. So we're just going to, again, try our best to try and just see if we can see him. But we find the Setter. And we can poke over and shoot this Setter and stay safe from the M56 where he was. So we get 1 shot into the Setter there. And I decide, okay, now I can clip them both out in 1 clip. Instantly go for the clip. The M56 has moved up, which catches me off guard. He fires, and now we're waiting for the clip. I'm thinking, maybe I have a chance. We get one in. The time is now. Whoa, no, eye for an eye. Oh, heartbreaker. The eye for an eye happens. He ends up getting the shot into us as we kill him. Finished the game with 8 kills, 4.1k damage, 571 assistance. The Demetrius, the crucial contribution, the Radleys, Devastator, Defender, High Caliber, the Ace Tanker for 1365 base XP with that 8 kills. A really nice game for the Lioness, and it's just a shame it came down to that heartbreaker at the end there. I just thought I might just have the chance to kill that guy, and he could possibly bounce, but it didn't happen, and it is what it is. That's the Lioness. That's the tank that you'll be getting at level 25 of the Season Pass. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success.